Alright, so today's just verb conjugation day. All right. So, in your regular notebook, I want you to jot that down. So we're going to start with some regular verbs. Okay, most of them that you're getting today are regular verbs. There's 11 of these. Okay. So regular verbs are the ones that conjugate normally. You follow the chart for the endings. So you take off the en, and then you add your regular ending. Do you know what I mean when I say the stem? Anybody know what that is? Yeah?
The start and the base of the
Yeah,
word.
you got it. Good. Yeah, so the stem doesn't change. So if you had the verb spielen, for example, when you get rid of that en, this is the base of the word. That's what's left. I have to get rid of the n. Okay. So that's the stem. So nothing happens to it. The vowels don't change. They don't rearrange order. There's no weird consonant thrown in there. Nothing. Okay. Does that make sense? So the regular verbs are the ones that you like, because they follow the super simple pattern. You don't have to do a whole lot of thinking in order to conjugate it. Okay. So here we go. Now we're on to the verb charts. First one, gehen. What does gehen mean? To go. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to conjugate these, write them all into the thing. Okay. So we're going to get rid of the en and then add our new ending back on. So how are you going to conjugate it for ich? Gehe. Okay. What about du? Gehst. You should be filling these in. Sie, es, man? Geht. Wir? Gehen. Ihr? Geht. Und Sie? Gut. Alright. Next one. Erzählen. Everybody try that one. Erzählen. Okay. Erzählen means to tell. To tell a story. Still works the same way. So we're going to get rid of the en, put our ending on. So what is ich going to become? Erzähle. Okay. Everybody try that. Ich erzähle. Okay. What about du? Erzählst. Yep. Okay. So you've got your base. Just add your st directly to it. Okay. So everybody try that one. Du erzählst. What about sie, es, and man? Erzählt. Try that one. Erzählt. Yeah, try it again. Erzählt. Okay, there's like 4 of you doing it. I want everybody to do it. It's the only way you learn how to pronounce things correctly. Try it again. Erzählt. Better. Still wasn't quite everybody. Erzählt. Yeah, that was kind of pathetic. In fact, we're going to keep doing it until everybody does it. Erzählt. Erzählt. If your lips move, then I can tell you're saying words. Your lips don't move, which is fascinating to me. Okay. Try it again. Erzählt. That time your lips moved. Good. Okay. Moving on to the wir form. What's that one going to be? Erzählen. Yep. So everybody try that one. Wir erzählen. What about ihr? Erzählt. Same as the as yes. Okay. So everybody try that one. I'm sorry. Ihr erzählt. Again. Ihr erzählt. And Sie and Sie. Erzählen. Good. Okay. Try that one. Sie erzählen. Alright. Good. Next one. This is one of my favorite verbs. Just sounds fun. Okay, everybody try this one. Üben. Okay? Means to practice. The reason this is one of my favorite is because when you get to the past tense of things, it turns to this word. You don't need to know this. Okay? Changes to geübt. Okay? Alright. So, you're going to take off the en as normal, which just leaves us with 2 letters, and then you're going to add your ending back on. Okay? So, ich is going to become what? Über. Okay? Like ew, like it's gross. Okay? Ich übe. Everybody try that. Ich übe. Ich übe. Okay? What's do going to be? Übst. Like oops, you did it wrong. Okay, try it again. Du übst. Er, sie, es, ein Mann. Übt. Alright, try that one. Er übt. I still think it's fun to say. Alright, wir what? Üben. Yep. What about ihr? Übt. And sehen Sie? Üben. Yep. Make sure it sounds icky. If you're saying üben, you're not doing the umlauts. You're just saying it as if it's a U. Okay, so üben. Okay. Next one. This one you've seen already. What does kochen mean? To cook. Okay. How do you conjugate for ich? Koche. Everybody, koche. Du? Kochst. Hier ist erst ein Mann. Kocht. Wir? Kochen. Ihr? Kocht. Und sehen Sie? Kochen. Try the next one. Erklären. Okay, try that again. Erklären. Okay. To clarify or explain. Still follows the same pattern. Get rid of the en, put your ending. So what's ich going to become? Erkläre. Du? Erklärst. Makes me think of eclair, the food.
Eau Claire?
No, not the city, the food.
Not Eau Claire, like the thing, like the small tube with the frosting in the middle.
Yeah, but it's pronounced eclair.
Instead of Eau Claire, like the city of
Correct. Alright, here's the erste Mal.
Claire.
Erklärt. Wir? Erklären. Ihr? Erklärt. Und sehen Sie. Erklärt. Yeah. Next one. Try that one. Hören. Hören. Mm-hmm. What does hören mean?
Hard. To yell. To scream.
No.
To complain.
Ich höre gern Musik. To listen or to hear. You've seen that one before, that's why I was asking. Okay, try that one. Ich höre. Everybody, ich höre. Okay. What's du going to become? Hörst. Yeah. There's the yes man. Hurt. Yeah, like ow, I'm hurt. Okay. Wir? Hören. Ihr? Hört. Und sehen Sie? Hören. Gut. Alright, lernen. What's it mean? To learn or?
To get learned.
Nope.
To teach.
No. To teach would be, so Lehrer is teacher, so lehren. They're very similar.
Understand.
What? There, or to study. Okay. So ich what? Lerne. Du? Lernst. Alyssa's just going to do this whole thing on her own. Here we go. There's the yes man. Not lerne. Lernt. Yeah. Wir? Lernen. Ihr? Lernt. Und sehen Sie? Lernen. Alright. Next one. This one's another new one. Try that one. Besuchen. This one always makes me think of bazookas. Yeah, like, yeah. Means to visit. But when you conjugate it for ich, bazooka. That's why it makes me think of that. Okay, so for whatever reason, when I was in high school and I learned this one, it always made me think, oh, you know, you're always saying things like, I'm going to go visit grandma or something. Okay? And I always had this image of showing up at grandma's house with a big bazooka, you know, ich besuche Oma or whatever. Okay? Alright, moving on. What's du going to become? Besuchst. There's the yes man. Besucht. Wir? Besuchen. Ihr? Besucht. Und sehen Sie? Besuchen. We're getting there. Remember this one? From yesterday? Frühstücken. What did this one mean? Was it, huh? It's a verb we don't have in English. We did it in the listening part.
To breakfast.
To breakfast. There you go. Good. To
So happy.
eat. It's such a happy verb. It has so many umlauts over U's. It's just happy looking, right? All right, how are you going to conjugate it for ich? So we've got früh, which means early, by the way. Früh, umlauts. Stück, which means piece. Like you're eating a piece of something early in the morning. And then add your E. So Frühstücke. Everybody try that. Frühstücke. 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 How about du? What's that going to be? Frühstückst. Everybody try that one. Frühstückst. Frühstückst. Here's the S-man. Frühstückt. Wir? Frühstücken. Ihr? Und sehen Sie? Next one. Try that one. Telefonieren. What do you think that means?
Call.
To call or to telephone. Another long one, but it works the same way. Get rid of the en and add your ending back on. So it's ich going to become. Telefoniere. Good. Let me try that one. Telefoniere. 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 What about du? Telefonierst. Good. There's the S-man. Wir? Telefonieren. Ihr? Telefoniert. Und sehen Sie? Telefonieren. Alright, try this next one. Duschen. Means to shower. So this whole chapter they're going to be teaching about times a day, but they also go through like your daily routine. Okay. So that's why some of these are coming up. So try that one. Ich dusche. Du duschst. That one's a little bit harder to say, isn't it? Here's the S-man. What's that going to be? Duscht. Wir? Duschen. Duschen. It doesn't say that it's together. Yeah, like we're going to go off to shower or whatever, but it doesn't imply that it's together. Ihr? Duscht. Und sehen Sie? Duschen. Right. Now, back to your other note-taking, whatever it is. Irregular verbs. I think so far you've had one irregular one, and that was sein. That one's just all sorts of special. Right? There's nothing normal about that one. Okay. Irregular verbs conjugate irregularly. That's why they're called irregular verbs. Right? They still follow the chart for their endings, so that part doesn't change. But the stem of the verb does change. It might be something simple like adding umlauts, and it might be something more complicated where it changes a consonant in there or something like that. Alright, so here we go. Irregular verbs. So we're back to verb T's. We've only got 3. Okay? So the first one, try that one. Vergessen. Okay? It means to forget. Okay. Now, one thing that's special about these is that not all parts of it change. So the stem, it only works, or it only changes in 2 spots. Okay? So we do something what we call Oklahoma okay. So if you know the shape of Oklahoma, the state, it's roughly the shape of Oklahoma, right? What's the abbreviation for Oklahoma? Okay. So that means those are normal. There's nothing goofy about them, which is why they're okay. Make sense? So we can fill those in, and then we'll go back and do the irregular ones. Okay? So what is ich going to be? Vergesse. Good. What about wir? Vergessen. Ihr? Vergesst. And Sie? Vergessen. Alright, so those are the easy ones. For the other side, du and RCS are the ones that are unique. Okay, so these are a little bit different. No, I didn't. I called the state strange. Alright, so here's the base of the word now. That's the new stem. So the E changes to an I. Now if you've already got an S there on the stem of your verb, you're not going to add an extra one for the do form. You're just going to put a T there. Just like heißen, that same thing. It had an S set, but it's still the S. Okay, so you're just going to put a T on there. So try that one. Vergisst. Okay, it's actually going to now be, because you're not adding the extra S, you just added a T. It's going to be the same in this case for RCS and man. Okay. Next one. This is one of the most important verbs in German. Anybody know what schlafen means? No. More specifically, it's very important to teenagers. Sleep. There it is. Should have just said that. To sleep. Okay? If you ask my daughter, she'll say it's one of the most important verbs for me, too. Okay? I like sleeping. Oklahoma's okay again. So it's still down in Texas where things are strange. Okay? So ich, what's that going to be? Schlafe. Everybody, schlafe. What about wir? Schlafen. Ihr? Schlaft. Und Sie? Schlafen. For du and RCS, we're going to add umlauts to the E. Okay. So here's what it was before. Now you're adding umlauts. And then your ST ending. So try that. Schläfst. Yeah, everybody. Schläfst. Schläfst. What's RCS man going to be then? Schläft. Good. Yeah, so it's the same as do, just with a different ending on it. So if do changed, then RCS man changed. One more irregular. Fahren. You've seen this one before.
To ride.
We use it as to ride frequently, but it actually means something else. To drive. Sehr gut. Okay. So we use it with like skateboard and stuff like that, which is why we think to ride, like bike, ride skateboard, but they actually use it as to drive. Oklahoma's okay. So what's ich gonna be? Fahrer. Wir. Fahren. Ihr. Fahrt. Get it out of your systems. Sehen Sie? Fahren. Alright. We're going to do the same thing to this one that we did to schlafen, which is a common thing. So with A, you frequently just add umlauts to it. Okay. So du and RCS are different. So what's the du form going to become? Fährst. Good. What about RCS man? Fährt. It almost sounds like ferret a little bit. Fährt. Alright. Separable verbs. Okay. These are kind of a goofy concept to us. Okay. These verbs could be regular or irregular. Okay. They follow the chart for endings, just like before, so you remove the en, put your regular ending on there. Okay. But the part that makes this one unique is that there's a part of the verb that separates from it, which is why they're called separable verbs. So the first 2 to 3 letters, and I'll always tell you whether it's 2 or 3 or whatever. Sometimes it's longer than that, but for now it's 2 to 3. They separate from the beginning of the verb and they get kicked all the way to the end of the sentence. So what frequently happens when people use these is they forget about kicking the first part of it to the end. They'll conjugate it correctly and everything like that, but they forget to kick part of it to the end. Okay. All right. So, here's your first one. Einkaufen. Okay. Einkaufen means to shop. Okay. It used to mean shop just for anything. Now it tends to be more geared towards like grocery shopping, shopping for essentials, that kind of a thing. Okay. So more specifically groceries at this point. Okay. They also use the verb shoppen. So they've kind of taken our word. Okay. But einkaufen is the one we're going to conjugate now. Okay. So it separates into 2 parts. Can you tell me where you think it separates? Ein, yeah, and then the kaufen. Good. Okay, so it separates here. So the ein is the part that's going to get kicked to the end. And you conjugate kaufen. Okay. Kaufen by itself means to buy. So the other thing that happens regularly is that people will remember, hey, I got to remove that ein, and I need to put it somewhere else, but they forget to put it at the end of the sentence. And if you forget that, then it can change the meaning. Okay. So if, for example, you forgot this one, instead of saying that you're going shopping, you'd just be saying that you were buying. Okay, so very minor change, but there are other ones, like this one. Vorschlagen means to suggest, but it's separable. If you forget to put that for at the end of your sentence, now you mean to hit. Very, very big difference in meaning. Yeah? So you got to be careful on that one. Okay. So, step 1. We're going to conjugate kaufen for ich. How do you conjugate kaufen for ich? Kaufe. What? So you're going to do kaufe, and then either a big space, or ... or something like that. And then each time we're going to put ein back in there so that we remember. What's du going to become? Kaufst and then? Ein. Mm-hmm. What about RCS and man? Kauft and ein. Mm-hmm. Wir? Kaufen and ein. Ihr? Kauft and ein. And sehen Sie? Kaufen and ein. So, as an example, you could say, ich kaufe am Samstag ein. What does that mean? I shop What does Samstag mean? It's a day of the week. That's your hint. Saturday. I shop on Saturday. Okay? So this ein, you never do anything to it other than kick it to the end and leave it alone. So you don't change the ending on that or anything like that. Okay? Alright. Next. Mitnehmen. Where do you think that's going to separate? Mit. Good. Nehmen by itself means to take. Mit means with. So it means you're taking it with or taking it along. So it's very similar. Okay. Okay. Now this one is irregular. But we've got Oklahoma. Yeah, you had poor timing on restroom. Okay, so the shape of Oklahoma means that it's okay. So it conjugates normally. All the things in the Oklahoma. Okay, so how do you conjugate nehmen for ich? Nehme. And then what do we need? And then? Mit. Okay, so ich nehme mit. What about wir? How do you conjugate it for wir? Nehmen and mit. Ihr? Nehmt and mit. Und sehen Sie? Nehmen mit. Alright. Now these two are irregular. New base of the word. Very different. So you switch a vowel and you swap a consonant. What ending are we going to put on there? ST. So nimmst. And then your mit. What's erstes Mann going to be then? Nimmt and mit. Alright, last one. Aufstehen. Okay. Where's it going to separate? Auf. Okay. Stehen by itself means to stand. Aufstehen means to wake up. Little side bit too. We did schlafen already today. So schlafen by itself is the act of actually sleeping. If you change that separable part at the beginning, which isn't always used but sometimes is, einschlafen is to fall asleep. Ausschlafen is to sleep in. And verschlafen is to oversleep. All simply based on that little beginning, which is kind of nice. But then the verb always conjugates the same anyway, so once you learn how to do some of these, they just kind of stick, and you can keep adapting them to what you need. Alright. This is a nice normal verb, so we don't have to worry about anything irregular. Okay, so what's ich going to become? Stehe. And then? Auf. What about du? Stehst and auf. Erstes Mal. Steht. And then auf. What about wir? Stehen and auf. Ihr steht, and auf. And last one, sehen Sie, stehen, and auf. There you go. What? Got a hand cramp yet? No, it's tomorrow. Woohoo! So, we'll be practicing some of this stuff tomorrow with your apps and all that jazz, so make sure you have your iPad here and ready to go. Okay? Any questions from today? Yeah, sure.